True federalism, resource control and legislative reform are among some of the issues put forward for the development of the country at a political summit held in Lagos today. The summit, which is being attended by eminent national leaders to dialogue on the state of the nation, also has participants calling for a national conference. Our political correspondent, Deji Badamosi, reports.
The organizers called it a gathering of eminent Nigerians, and indeed, the hall was packed full with distinguished Nigerians.
That is very doubtful.
The gathering was basically called to identify the problems of Nigeria and provide solutions. And if before now you've been wondering what the problems of the country are, then these contributions will at least begin to give you some idea.
Until we can have true federalism in Nigeria, people will neglect their responsibilities. I argue that the states have become dysfunctional partly because those who run the states do not realize they live in a federal system.
Before the Second Republic, that is during the colonial times, and the First Republic, we had responsible political leaders. Can we say so now?
Why is it that the Constitution insists that local governments must be governed by elected councils, and yet before our very eyes, most governors prefer caretaker committees so they can do to them as they wish? How can we have a system where state-serving and recently retired governors are forced to apologize to terrorist organizations within our country, and they take full-page adverts confessing their sins and pleading for mercy?
In 1963, it was agreed that 50% of the revenue made in the country should be reserved by the region if you are the producer, or if it is produced in your area. So, and it was also agreed that every region should be allowed to develop itself at its own pace. But today, what do we have?
I would stand for Nigeria any day, any time, but not the type of Nigeria that is silently emerging today. And the type of Nigeria we have today is a situation whereby, and for some time, I might add, whereby some people believe that they are more equal than others. Some people believe that they have the right to control everything in this country well before. Some people believe that the federal government should be in their hands, and if it's not in their hands, must be controlled by them at all times and at all costs. And that's the problem that we're facing. Very few people are prepared to say this.
Virtually everyone in the hall had something to say about the challenges confronting the country. But the good news is that not only were problems identified, solutions were also put forward.
With all due respect, the security forces have been overwhelmed. Because never in anybody's imagination would you have thought that the kind of security problems posed to us today will be managed by the paucity of manpower that we have, their patriotism and their training.
The issue of convoking a sovereign national conference was always going to be a sticking point. It was therefore no surprise that the issue generated some argument.
There is only one solution to our problems, to our challenges: a national conference. We must all sit together around the table, all the ethnic nationalities in the country.
If we must discuss, there are ways of doing it legally. As we have it, the National Assembly is in session, and you have it. It's a conglomeration of all nationalities in Nigeria. You might not like what I'm saying, but I'm telling you the truth.
National Assembly is opposed to any form of conference. They believe that they are in charge of our affairs. If you have any problem, bring it there. We need to mobilize them and let them be assured that we are not about sending them packing at their jumbo allowances for now. And all we are trying to do is to rewrite and write a new constitution in place of Decree 24 of 1999.
If they don't allow us to have a sovereign national conference, This kind of meeting on a rotational and continuing basis must become our moving national constitution conference. And by the way, I think it's a bit of political illiteracy to say that you can't have two sovereignties in the country. There's only one sovereignty. It resides with the people.
Yes. The talks are expected to continue for a second day. But the challenge before this group will come after the talks are over, and that is how to convince the government to accept and run with the final document that emanates from this process. Deji Badimosi, Channels Television News.